A large majority of the music we listen to today has its musical ideas somewhat sequestered from one another. This is true in the verses, choruses, and bridges of pop music, to the exposition, development, recapitulation of sonata form, to the head solo head form of most jazz tunes. It's not very often that you'll hear multiple, equally important melodies playing at the same time, but it's something that can work very well, and one of my favorite examples of this is from the Pixeljunk Monsters soundtrack. Monsters, released by Pixeljunk in 2008, is a tower defense game with a charming art style and a strategic emphasis on micromanaging your player character. The music was done by Autograph, a music and visual art duo run by Takashi Iora and Sachio Oshima, based in Kyoto, Japan. Their projects are very unique, with a heavy emphasis on texture and ambiance. As they put it in a PlayStation blog interview, instead of specializing in one style, we place more importance on moments of touch and visual sensation. This non-traditional approach to composition is on full display in the work they've done in Monsters. The big thing I'll be looking at is how Autograph composes with multiple themes going simultaneously. What I'm talking about is more than just melodies and counter-melodies. I'm talking about equally weighted musical ideas playing at the same time. The soundtrack is filled with tunes where multiple distinct musical ideas are all going at the same time, and yet it manages to maintain its musical clarity. How can that happen? A good tune to illustrate how this functions is Chocolate Ripples, a piece with three main ideas. The form looks like this. The piece opens with idea A, a rhythmic guitar comping pattern. After the listener is given time to get used to this sound, a sustained vibraphone melody is played over top. We'll call this melody idea B. When idea B ends, a rhythmic synthesizer melody comes in, which we'll call idea C. All three ideas are combined only once they've all been introduced on their own. This is one of the keys of making musical layering palatable. While ideas can play at the same time, they should be introduced one at a time. This is evident in the way that idea B gets out of the way of idea C midway through the piece. Like guests at a dinner party, they can only come together after they've been introduced. That was a look at the etiquette behind introducing ideas, but what about the ideas themselves? What makes a theme conducive to layering? The key is that these ideas shouldn't be getting in the way of each other or fighting over musical real estate. It's best to make each one a different instrument, different rhythm, or in a different register. These guiding principles are on full display in the song Mono no Aware. This piece's idea A is a steady pattern of eighth notes on a piano. Idea B is a vaguely triplet-based flute melody, and it works because it's a different timbre following a different rhythm. Idea C follows these rules too, being a syncopated set of piano chords in the low register. Even though idea C and idea A are on the same instrument, they're distinct from one another because they're in different registers with different rhythms. Let's apply these guiding principles to an original musical idea to see what a difference they make. The idea I'm using is a syncopated 16th note riff, vamping between a B major 7 chord and an F Lydian chord. Here it is all on its own. Now let's see how it sounds when I add a second idea on the same instrument with similar rhythms and ranges. As you can see, it quickly becomes a muddy mess. I could remedy this by changing the registers. Changing the rhythm. Or moving to a different instrument. See what a difference it makes? Applying these principles that Autograph used in their composition makes it so much more digestible. There are lots of other things that make the Monsters soundtrack so fantastic. I could talk about its clever use of background textures, or its fantastic percussion writing, or I could just spend a video gushing over how gosh dang pretty track 11 is. But for this video, I'm going to have to leave it here. I do highly recommend Pixeljunk Monsters though. The gameplay is very simple but has a lot of depth in it, and the art style is very unique and fun. And honestly, I think the soundtrack justifies a purchase all on its own.